Welcome to another Railroads Online Showcase video, M.I.A. edition, which of course stands for Moved Industries Around. I'm mentioning that because that whole thing has become a huge pain in my backside when it came to the refinery and how it's supposed to load the oil barrels. What it's supposed to happen, as you can imagine, is you lower the chute, one of the barrels spawns on top of the ramp, hits it, and then just rolls down towards the car, at which point it will be in the vicinity of the car and then automatically be put onto it. Given that I may have put the track a bit too far away from the platform for this to happen very well, there's still a whole other issue with this, apart from this platform being quite high. The thing is, apparently, and I heard that from another Discord with people that are far more knowledgeable about the inner workings of the game than I am, the way the barrels spawn is that the orientation of them is locked to the map itself and not the industry. So if you have the industry in its regular location or just move it around without rotating it, no problem. The barrel will spawn facing maybe this direction, the ramp will spawn facing the same way, and the barrel will just roll onto the ramp and off onto the track or the car, whatever. However, if you rotate the entire thing around to maybe fit the location that you want to build in, the barrel is still going to be facing this way, meaning that it's not gonna roll down the ramp at all. And to make things maybe worse or even slightly better in this case, depending on how you look at it, it seems to be colliding with something and just yeets off into the distance. At least the direction it's eating into is kind of consistent. So I think I can maybe do something to help this. What did I do to begin with? I of course went onto the official Discord and made a bug report about this, but the official response by one of the moderators was that I made this save using a third-party tool, Real Studio in this example, and therefore it's kind of a modded thing and they are not offering any mod support. And I gotta say, it's a bit of a shame, but fair enough. After all, you can't just go out of your way and spend development time because somebody did something very weird that was never intended to happen. This whole industry moving thing is not something they officially support. So I guess it's fair enough that they don't want to go out of their way to address this thing. Although from the limited knowledge that I have, I think it would be not the hardest thing to fix, but again, they said they don't want to do it and that's something I have to live with. Thing is though that the moderator also mentioned that potentially there will be a fix. There will be an October update that is supposed to address a few things, and if it's intentional or not, it may also do something about this. I don't know what they are planning on doing specifically, but it may inadvertently just deal with this entire issue as well. But October is still a ways out, and it wouldn't necessarily even be the beginning of October. So I guess I'm gonna come up with something myself in the meantime. The first thing that came to mind was just using bridges to make a custom ramp. And from my early testing, it seems like that would be a suitable thing to do. Not 100% reliable, but you can get like maybe 95% of all the stuff onto the cars, and that's okay, I guess. Another thing that I still want to try as well before making a final solution is getting some of the cars that can hold the barrels, some of the plantation cars I mean, and putting them on the part where the barrels usually land, so they would hopefully get picked up by the car, and then I can just unload them onto maybe a ramp or another car and then onto the actual car where I want them to be. I'll have to see about that. It's gonna take a bit of fiddling, but that could be a really reliable way of dealing with this. So I want to keep that option open before deciding to just put on a ramp and have that be the ultimate solution. I already placed on a track below the platform here, Maybe I can put the cars below and see how that's gonna work, but that's gonna be something for the future. Only thing I hope is that they don't get the idea to just replace all the unique loading mechanisms with more of cranes or something. That would be really unfortunate. But yeah, either a custom ramp or placing down a car to catch all the stuff and load onto the cars manually would be both solutions. The third one I have, of course, is to just get rid of everything here, which I'm not gonna do right now because there's still a few other things I want to talk about on this plateau right here. I made a small addition to the entire industry here, and that is by just employing Betsy in order to deliver the different resources to the respective platforms. That porter, of course, being the shortest engine in the game, and the platforms not being too long and not having much of a runoff before going into either a massive oil tank or just the next supply pile. This at least allows me to line up 2 cars to the platform over here, so I can unload 2 of them at the same time. With the pipes it's even up to 3 cars, which means I got the pipe delivery train up from 10 cars to 12, so I still have an even number for the cranes down in the valley, but can also work with batches of 3 in order to unload everything efficiently. Then again, pipes are really the least concern when it comes to this entire thing. The resource that's holding me back the most is the crude oil itself, followed by the lumber, of which I still have at least 2 cars over here, so not quite down for a resupply, but it's gonna get there shortly, and I think I should also maybe assemble the rest of the train again. This used to be much longer, but I think I kinda outsourced half of it in order to refill a few other places. I'm not completely sure I know where the rest of the train is, but eventually this and the rest of the cars are supposed to be just working for this industry right now. But with everything being said and this whole clusterfuck that the unloading area is, I gotta say for now, goodbye. This is of course just a joke, I'm not gonna save this. I'll be reloading that, doing a few more testing and figuring out how to deal with this entire thing without not having oil barrels for the next month or so. But that being said about this industry, let's now go down to the smelter for more deletion, possibly. Nah. I just want to show the additions that I made for this area. On one hand, we have another engine shed over here, with a turntable being moved slightly over. God, this would be so difficult to do in real life, especially with one existing and not being completely rebuilt. The engine shed is currently empty. This is for the Twincy that's located at this station. Right now, all the... I should have maybe shown that as well. Yeah, the entire corporate train is up here where the refinery used to be. I brought this in to just load, I think about 6 or 7 cars, whatever, with oil barrels, and then drive it down to the freight depot and make some money, but yeah, I guess that's not happening. And from there I was supposed to then go to the next logging camp and yeah, fill up everything again. That's gonna take a moment, and it's just so amazing how stupidly long this train is. It's ending somewhere over there in the distance. Not gonna go all the way to the end. Maybe you can see it from down below. But yeah, just so you know where the train went, it got depleted rather quickly and it's now due for another refill. But yeah, that Twincy engine is supposed to be going into that shed, and that is to not only be used as a road engine for the corporate train, but also to occasionally deliver some lumber up to the refinery up on top, as well as deal with something like mainly the tanker trains that need to go up to the refinery as well. It's a bit of a weird situation regarding those, because going from the oil field, which is all the way up north at the bottom of the valley where the smelter used to be originally. That's a 2% climb to get up to the logging camp. From the logging camp to the smelter is another 1% climb. So that's something that hopefully I likely get another Twinsy in order to deal with a lot of cars and only need that one engine for that part of the trip. But coming in here, you will need to do another 2% to get up from this elevation level to the plateau where the refinery used to sit on until it just got deleted there for some reason. But yeah, I'm now kinda adjusting the station here to help out a bit with the entire thing. So you can use the Twinsy that's supposed to be stationed over here as a helper engine to get up onto the plateau. And you can use this third set of runaround tracks to just turn any train around in order to get further up. And first come in here, move the engine to the other side, add the Twinsy, and then be on your way again. I could maybe put the station to the other end over here, so I don't need to turn the train around. So it would be something that you can go onto before going into the freeway junction, where you choose between either going to the smelter or all the way up to the refinery. However, the thing is, I'm also considering on maybe making another track. Right now, from that freeway junction, you go into a loop, go over the initial track, and then stick to the side of a mountain to eventually make your way up to the refinery, again with a 2% incline. Potentially, I could add another track here that would be a lot shorter, and maybe go up at a 5% incline. And I think for that I would add another few helper engines down here, like multiple climaxes that I would put back to back again. So that could be quite interesting, and that's something that I'm most likely will be doing. It's definitely on my list of considerations and pretty high up there. But again, I need more money in order to do fun stuff like that. And it's gonna involve a lot of testing and fiddling around before I get anything workable here. I have another engine shed over here still, and I added another turntable because for some reason I figure it's a lot more convenient to turn most engines around on this table and the other one. So I might as well get rid of the other table at some point. But yeah, the cordwood is completely depleted. I'm running out of raw iron, which I used to make more steel pipes, so something here has to happen. And we're gonna take a look at that once that's done, and once I even figure out what that's going to be to begin with. But yeah, so much about this area. Let's now go to the ironworks, where I think the rest of the steakhouse reside. Yeah, we have the Glenbrook over here, and this is supposed to be the rest of the cars that are going to just supply the refinery. Once I have enough money to just have multiple cars staying around here and there. One major thing that I'm considering here is to maybe add some storage area to just keep some cars with lumber and especially raw iron around. Because I seem to be running out of this stuff consistently, and I'm not sure if even filling up those sides with the product completely and filling up the supply sites here will be enough to fill up 12 cars of steel pipes. So I guess I need to do something about that. It would be nice to just deliver a longer train and just keep everything on a side track that I cannot use at the moment, and just have it there for later, instead of starting the loading on operation and having to interrupt that in order to get more supplies so I can get enough stuff to even load onto the train. But that's gonna be for another day. Overall, nothing here has changed. I'm definitely happy with the addition of new signs that I can place down here, so I'll be making a few signs here and there describing where every single track goes and what to do with everything, because this is a bit of a mess, even for me who built it. Last but not least on the list, let's go to the oil field once more. I think this station is good now, but yeah, since this was something that I started building on the other save but never really operated much with, I didn't know how I wanted to handle the entire thing, and that led to a few updates here and there, and the latest comes in 2 major things, maybe even 3. One of them is not major apart from how it was for me, because I had to rebuild a lot of the switching area here. I had a 3-way switch over, I think, instead of this 2-way switch here. So that would be a fork going to the left where you would connect to the other runaround track for miscellaneous stuff. And that caused me some issues, because trying to load some tanker cars had me derail the engines a few times, and then I decided, yeah, let's rebuild everything just so that coming into the switch from one of these sides, at least the switch auto-aligns and I don't have to take care of it, because I'm apparently not able to do so. So it's not a huge difference for you guys, but it took me quite a while to figure out and set into place, while also completely rebuilding a huge part of this area right here. The next thing that you can already hear is that I finally have a few engines. Welcome to the company, Class 48 number 8.1, Olivia, and Class 48 number 8.2, Olga, which are of course the new helper engines for the oil field, and they are likely also going to be required to get some of the trains back up to the other plateau, because again this is another 2% incline, and I maybe will be okay with a longer with a better engine to get up there, but it's a bit tough for the Ruby Basin, which is already quite a powerful engine to begin with. But yeah, we finally have some helper engines here, which are mainly of course for handling the different tanker cars in order to fill them, but as I mentioned, will also help just entire trains to go back up to the plateau. I'm kind of considering on doing the same thing here as I did with Refinery, or as I'm planning with a Refinery, and that is just adding a few powerful engines to get stuff up onto the plateau, and then have them come back down, potentially with another steeper line, which I already have a switch up on top. But I don't know how I would arrange it so it comes down in a sensible way here. Would have to see how that goes. It's a bit tough. But yeah, again, when you bring in empty cars, they come in on this track. You take one of the helper engines, get maybe even either 2 or 4 of those tanker cars, put them onto one of the tracks, which now has a switch and end of track device, so you can just slowly back it up into one of the end of track devices here, and that should perfectly align the cars, so you can just use the spouts in order to get everything lined up so you can fill up the cars. It's a lot more convenient than having this without the switch and stopping area and just having to align the tracks manually or the cars manually. It was a huge pain because there wasn't that much wiggle room for that, and with how I dealt with it now, it's a lot easier, a lot quicker, and a lot more fun. So yeah, once you get the first car in line, you can get the second engine, then put that onto the other side, and once everything is loaded on, you just need to pull everything forward until you clear the switch. Turn that on the other side, disconnect the filled up cars, and just kick them off into the distance, at which point they will just reconnect both sides into one runoff track, where you can reassemble the entire train, and you just do the entire thing until all of the cars are full. Also, one thing that I noticed recently, the spouts are not aligned on both sides. You can see this one coming off onto this side before getting into this pipe, and over here it's even more weird because the distance between this pipe and this one isn't the same as between these two, so yeah, on this side the two spouts are closer together than on the other side, so that's making the entire thing even more complicated than it used to be. Or than it could be if at least the distances were the same and the stuff was lined up, but yeah. Adjusting for that was a pain, but it worked out anyway, so yeah, pretty happy with it after all. One last tiny thing that I want to quickly show. I still need to get the Glenbook back here in order to operate the train that's supposed to even supply the oil field. Again, all of the cars here are in the ratio the entire industry needs for the different supplies. So this is a very nice thing that can go through two different industries, or at least it used to go through two of them in order to catch other supplies, but now I added another bulkhead car for cordwood. And that is just because the helper engines down in the valley are of course being fed with firewood instead of coal, and they go through that quite a lot. So I decided to just have another car for that. So you would start out at the ironworks, get some pipes and the tools. Then you would go to, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter which logging camp you go to, there are two on the way. Although this is a bit off the way anyway, so you would come through here, go up to the sawmill, load up the beams that you need, and then go into the logging camp, where you can decide on whether or not you want to resupply the firewood. That's the only thing that's really unrelated to the rest of the supplies, and then you take everything down into the valley to the oil field and unload it. I think I should have enough of the stuff cleared out there so I can just do another supply run. Might do that next, but we're going to see about that. I'm still going to need to figure out how I want to do the entire supply here in order to make that work out in my favor. I don't think going into every single industry and loading up the cars while making the video is gonna be too much enjoyment. But we'll have to see about that. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for me for this one. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye bye!